Now I'd like to show you this darling quilt called Weed It and Reap. And it's just got some great vegetables. I'm really into health, so vegetables were on my brain when I designed this. So there's just a few simple principles. To make the corn, you're going to Xerox your pattern, put it on top of 2 pieces of fabric, right side together, thin polyester bonded batting, sew on your solid line, cut on your outside dash line, take your paper out, and just slit 1 layer of fabric. Don't get 2. Turn it right side out through that opening. Stuff it, whip stitch it closed. Then the corn husk. This is the pea pod. It's the same principle, just different dimensions that are in your pattern. But you're just going to cut a strip of fabric, sew the small ends together and turn it wrong sides together like this. And then on that raw edge, you're going to hand baste, pull it tight. And what's cool about this is that the edges turn like this to make your corn husk or your pea pod. And then the corner, you want to just turn it on itself like that. And then your corn will just slip right inside as that rolls over. And then you got to put the slit down. This will be stuffed more, and then I'll just hot glue some raffia for the silk. This is folded in on itself like that. Looks way cool. So that's the corn. Really, really easy. And the carrots, very easy. You're going to cut out the pattern, 1 layer of fabric, put right sides together, sew a seam, stuff it. Make sure you get the stuffing down to that corner. Hand gather right on the very edge so that your hole is tiny. Then you're going to loop some ribbon and whip stitch it to the top, and it should cover the opening if you've done it right on the edge when you've gathered it. We'll show you the next part. Now we'll do the peas and the grapes and the tomatoes. You're just going to cut your circle according to the size on the pattern and then hand baste around the outside, pull it. But the trick is to stuff it as tight as you possibly can. And then after you pull it, you're going to stitch across it several times to keep it really, really secure, like that. Okay, and now when you're adding it to the quilt top, what I wanted to show you was I've stuffed it as tight as I can, and then I'm going to push it down onto the quilt. So squash it down, and then where the fabric naturally hits the quilt top, you're going to blind stitch. Now I'm surprised some people don't understand blind stitch, but it's very simple. Where the thread comes out, I'm going to go back in the same place and then move forward underneath the quilt top. Okay, so that the stitches that are showing on the top are very short. So where it comes out on the tomato, I'm going to go down right next to that. Now the other important thing to know when you're adding these things is you want this to crown. It goes out and in, and right where it hits the fabric is where you want to attach it. You don't want to attach it out here on the edge. That would be weird. So attach it down here, and then that will help give it dimension and will look much nicer. When you get them all on, that's when it just pops. And now when I'm putting like groups on, I'll attach them to each other to give them a little stability. The little peas are easy because you just can tack them from the back, just in the middle. You don't have to blind stitch. They just fit right in their little pods. And here you can see where I've tucked in the raffia to give it the silk of the corn. And this just turns out darling. Just really fun, not hard, no paper piecing involved like most of my quilts. This one's pretty simple, and I hope you enjoy this pattern.